Alright, welcome back to the channel and welcome to another edition of pre-recorded Coastal Zone. Coastal Zone, the more things happen, the more it looks like Coastal Zone's gonna have to be a pre-recorded series from now on, at least for the very foreseeable future. You know, maybe a few months from now it can go back to being live, but the way things are going, it's looking like if you guys want Coastal Zone, I'm gonna have to tape it. So, yeah, we are doing our build to Hardcore Halloween, and we actually have a couple of quick builds in the upcoming episodes, as today we are doing 3 episodes of Coast to Coast, and then it is straight to Hardcore Halloween, and it goes the same for Showdown at Sundown and Christmas Cage Chaos. Our next 3 shows are all 3-week builds. And so it's only going to be 2 episodes each, the 3 episodes of Coast to Coast and then the pay-per-view. So, yeah, tonight, or in the first episode of Coast to Coast, I'm going to try and go through these a little quicker, just because it's 3 episodes of Coast to Coast, so hopefully I don't filibuster too much. All we have pre-booked for tonight's Coast to Coast is, of course, the hardcore match that Malik Cash and Hugh Dayask have pre-planned out in their little Coast to Coast feud before in the build to the last pay-per-view. So without further ado, let's just get into the show. And at the suggestion of somebody in the comments, they suggested that I bring in local workers to job out to, they said specifically Komodo Dragon and Snapdragon Jr., but honestly I think as long as it's not like too much of a hassle, I'm going to bring in some local people to job out to any of my young lions. So that includes anybody that is not a young lion that got booked. So tonight, Fox Mask 2 did not have a match, and neither did Aviation. So Fox Mask 2 defeats the former American, or Dragon Americano, American Patriot here. And then, well, that's great. What are the odds that these 2 local guys that have no chemistry? But Artful Dodger and Blue Dragon lose to Aviation. This is to get both the young lions some work in and some extra pop on the side. Since we are a small company, it's not a big deal to have them popular throughout the entire United States. We just need them over in the Southwest. But we kick off the actual edition of Coast to Coast with the hardcore match, and it gets a 63 rating, as Hugh Dayask is able to defeat Malik Cash and avenge his girlfriend Joanna Silver. Hugh Dayask gets the victory, and this should be the end of the feud, but as Hugh is accompanied by Joanna in the ring, the Inner City Express continue their beatdown, and the feud continues, but then all of a sudden, music that we have never heard in Coastal Zone hits, and it's Lenny Brown, former SWF future world champion, like the guy that you push in 2020 was just let go by the SWF, and I have picked him up, and Lenny Brown, he makes the save. He never actually makes contact with Jay Becker and Malik Cash, but they run away, they escape the ring, and Hugh Dayask is saved by the debuting Lenny Brown. Lenny Brown, he holds the arm up of both Hugh Dayask and Joanna Silver, and everyone's like, why is Lenny Brown here? Why is he helping out Hugh and Joanna? And then, when you least expect it, Lenny Brown turns around and clotheslines Hugh Dayask right to the ground. Joanna Silver is stunned. The Inner City Express hit the ring once again, hit Joanna Silver with their finisher, and Lenny Brown stands tall with the Inner City Express. Just what a shocking debut. No words spoken by Lenny Brown. What is he here for? What does he want? We will have to find out later. But Lenny Brown, 54 rated segment in his debut. His gimmick of the bad boy got a great rating, so that's nice. But after the debut of Lenny Brown, we have Carlos Barrera come out and call out the Coastal Kings, because of course Carlos Barrera is going to be taking on Masked Cougar for the World Championship at the pay-per-view in the main, and I don't know if it's the main event of Hardcore Halloween. I think Frankie-Boy and Frankie Perez for the COTT titles actually main eventing Hardcore Halloween. But Carlos is fighting for the world title against Masked Cougar, and he calls out the Coastal Kings, and he says, months ago, before Masked Cougar was even the world champion, I was making a name for myself, and you know what I did? You know what I did on an episode of Coast to Coast? I beat Masked Cougar. I was able to beat the man that nobody else has been able to beat since, because he's got a bunch of misguided assholes leading his way. And the Coastal Kings took their anger out on me, held my career back for months, but finally, I've crawled my way back, and I've worked to the main event, and I'm going to take that title off of the Coastal Kings once and for all. And Fox Mask and Frankie Perez and Masked Cougar just says, look, you're so blinded by your hatred of people that have done nothing but pave the way for this company for you. You're so blinded in trying to put people in the retirement home. You're just so angrily, your anger is misguided, Carlos. You will never be able to accomplish anything at this rate with your fucking whatever. I don't know what I'm trying to say. You get the gist. Carlos wants revenge. The Coastal Kings want to keep the title. Frankie and Masked Cougar look to start a beatdown. Going Coastal come out and back up Carlos. And Sean McFly comes out and he says, look, there's no need to fight right now, because at Hardcore Halloween, what is the namesake of the pay-per-view if we don't have hardcore matches? So you know what? Main event tonight. We're going to have a preview match for not only Frankie-Boy and Frankie Perez's match, but also Carlos and Masked Cougar's match, as you two and any other member of the Coastal Kings you want team up against Going Coastal and Carlos Barrera, where the winning team, if Carlos's team wins, he gets to pick the stipulation for the world title match, and if the Coastal Kings win, they get to pick the stipulation. So pretty much just whoever wins gets the home field advantage at Hardcore Halloween. 3v3 main event later tonight. Up next, we have the Beach Boys taking on the Apex Twins. I have booked the Beach Boys a couple times, and I forgot Chet Chavez was injured, so hopefully it doesn't get worse, because I booked him a little bit. 41 overall rated match. The match only goes 4 minutes and 30 seconds. Chet Chavez pins Gabe Apex with the beach break. If he's going to work injured, I thought I might as well give him the victory. And afterwards, the Beach Boys, who just defeated El Jaguar and Luis Montero Jr. at the pay-per-view, say that they have earned a rematch to get their World Tag Team titles back. Jackpot Jordan and Jake Idol say that they haven't done shit. And Sean McFly, Simon Waves says, you know what, if we haven't done shit yet, then why don't one of you step in the ring against me right now, #1 contender. If we can win, then we've proved that we are tag title worthy. We have earned our rematch. And Sean McFly comes out and says, you know what, that's a great idea. Jackpot, get in there. If Simon Waves wins next week, we're having a World Tag Team title match. And the Coastal Kings are caught completely off guard, and Jackpot Jordan goes in. But it's a typical Coastal Kings match, as there's constant interference at ringside from both Fox Mask and Fox Mask Jr. But Chet Chavez is also at ringside, able to break up any bullshit, and out through all the chaos, Simon Waves breaks his fucking leg. No, he breaks his leg. Oh, no. Oh, my God, and I turned on Spinal Impact moves also. Oh, that sucks. That sucks. I can't fucking... Oh, fuck. Ah, thank God this isn't live anymore, because I have to do a lot of rebooking now. Oh, no. Oh, that's very fucking unfortunate. Simon Waves wins, and he should be getting a, tag team title match next week, but I don't think he's gonna be able to work. Match gets a 55, and yeah, so Simon Waves wins, and we should have a tag title match next week, but I don't know. But we end the segment with the Beach Boys and Willow taunting the Coastal Kings as they leave, and are supposedly going to have a tag title match next week. I'm gonna stop the recording here, so there's gonna be a cut right to the next angle, because I have to do a lot of rebooking. Alright, so when it was all said and done, it was actually not a terrible amount of rebooking, but it did mess up a couple of longer term plans. The overall story is not going to be changed that much, other than we're not actually getting that tag title match. But shit happens. Anyway, we cut backstage where Zell Quinn, he is talking to the Q crew and he is furious. Who the fuck does California Love Machine think he is? He's talking to my doctors without my permission. And how did he pay off these doctors to lie to him and lie to Sean McFly? Make me work. Was my neck broken? No. Was that a lie? No. You know why? Because it was strained. My neck was hurting in California Love Machine's gonna pay, and Eureka and Onslaught, who are a little disenchanted with Zell Quinn right now, they're just like, you know what, fine. Because Zell kind of put them in their place at the pay-per-view, like, yeah, we kind of need him to get booked, so we'll just, yep, California Love Machine's gonna pay, but then knocking on their locker room is Swipe Romero, who says, look, Zell, I couldn't help but overhear how much you disdain California Love Machine. I'm not the biggest fan of him either, but California is really good friends with someone I can't really stand either. That dastardly Tony DeWonderful. I'm sure you don't have the best relationship with him either. You see, Zell, I think there could be a fun partnership between us. I scratch your back, maybe you scratch mine. What do you say? And Zell Quinn, like, oh, he shrugs and he's like, I don't know. But yeah, so after that, we cut to the parking lot where Lenny Brown, he is leaving, and the Guru, he chases him down, and he's like, Lenny, what are you doing here in Coastal Zone? What are you doing in, what's with the Inner City Express? What's with your beef against Hugh Ask? And Lenny Brown, he looks right at the Guru, and he says, you know, the Inner City Express and me, we go way back. I was huge fans of their work back when they were working for 4C, and they were really big fans of mine when I was working in RIPW, and we kind of hit it up in social media, hit it up in the DMs. We've never been able to work for the same company. They helped negotiate the deal to get me into Coastal Zone, and Hugh Ask and Joanna Silver just come in and try to fuck with us, try to fuck with my boys, try to put them out of their pasture, try to beat them down in a hardcore match. I won't fucking stand for that. Me, Jay, and Malika are going to be a force to be reckoned with. The first time ever we're going to be able to work together. We're going to make a goddamn statement. When you mess with one of us, you mess with all of us. Hugh, Joanna, anybody that gets in our way. Prepare to meet your maker. And then he walks into his car, and the Inner City Express join him, and then they drive away. 49 rated segment. Lenny Brown, deep friendship with Jay Becker and Malik Cash that I guess we've just never been able to see because neither of them have worked in the same company until now. So 49 rated segment, we cut back to the ring where we have a fun match between Tigre Salvaje Jr. and Cillian Catsby. Cillian was insanely off his game, that's why he got 19 fucking points. It is what it is. Tigre with a 61. Overall match gets a 58. And he cuts a promo calling out the Coastal Kings. He is furious with how they stole the Extreme Championship from him. He's furious with Fox Mask, Aerotech Weasel, and he says that you mess with the Tiger, you're gonna get more than just revenge. You're gonna get vengeance. Is that the same word? Probably. I'm not great at promos. But Tigre Salvaje Jr. essentially says that he's gonna come after the Coastal Kings, and he's not coming just for the Extreme title. He's coming back for more. 53 rated segment. Tigre, the Coastal Kings, despite having the biggest faction in probably this company's history, also have the biggest enemy list in this company's history. We get a backstage promo from Seth Whitehead, who's just furious again. Another month, no title shot. Another month angry. He's not even angry at Carlos Barrera anymore. You know, at some point, you lose fair and square, and you just gotta take the loss. He knows that he's better than Carlos. He just wasn't better when it mattered the most. He's not gonna get a world title match this month. He's gonna have to wait another month after Hardcore Halloween. But the more he waits, the more new names come in and try to take my spot. So anybody that continues to try to take my spot is gonna take anything but that. They're gonna take a fucking ass whooping. 47 rated segment. We cut backstage where Fox and Fox 2 meet with Willow. Just Willow, not Simon Waves, not Chet Chavez. Thankfully, Simon Waves can work angles while he's hurt, so I checked. You'll see it at the end of the video how long he's out for, but Fox Mask meets Willow backstage in the Beach Boys locker room and just says, "Look, Willow, I know you've hitched your tail to Simon and Chet, and you know, it got you pretty far. They were pretty dominant tag champs, but they haven't been tag champs for a while, and it seems every time that they come across one of my men, except for earlier tonight where Simon Waves lucked out with a victory against Jackpot Jordan. Other than that, they've come up short. Do you really want to hitch your wagon to a failing tag team, to a losing duo, when you could join, potentially, the greatest winning faction in all of Coastal Zone? If you make sure that my guys don't have to work that tag title match, there might just be a seat waiting for you at the dinner table of the kings. In the kingdom, there might be a room in the castle just for you, Willow. 43 for that. We get our semi-main, holy fuck, American Flash with a 74. The Cold Blood Brothers are booked against the team of Tony DeWonderful and his mentor, American Flash. Match only goes 5 minutes and 47 seconds. Tony DeWonderful hits the lariat clothesline to get the victory, pinning Snapdragon Jr. American Flash was insanely fucking good. Holy shit. 52 overall rating, but it seems that Zell Quinn has taken up Swipe Romero on his offer to team up and take out Tony and then potentially California Love Machine, because American Flash and Tony DeWonderful are jumped by the Q Crew and Swipe Romero. Horrible fucking segment, apparently. They're just fighting. It's not even a talking segment. God damn it, nobody can do anything in angles. We get one more angle before our main event where the Guru is interviewing Waylon Walls, and Waylon Walls is just like, my Extreme Championship match was stolen. Bullseye is still out injured thanks to the Coastal Kings. I don't think they understand. I don't let things slide. When Bullseye comes back, he's not going to let things slide, alright? Weasel, Fox, you all better watch your back, because when you least expect it, we're coming to get you. 50 rated segment, and it is time for the main event, a 3v3. Winners pick the stip for the world title match, and Fox Mask is at ringside constantly cheating, but eventually, two men who called their shot against the Coastal Kings earlier act on it, as coming out for Cavalry. Did I not press the button? You all saw me press it. Coming out for Cavalry at ringside, preventing Fox Mask from cheating, is none other than Waylon Walls and Tigre Salvaje Jr. They take out Fox Mask and Fox Mask 2, allowing the babyfaces to get the victory here. 82 rated main event. Really good shit from Frankie Boy, as always. California was off his game, and he still got a 63. Masked Cougar did great, but yes, Carlos Barrera and Going Coastal get the victory in 19 minutes and 54 seconds when Frankie Boy pins Air Attack Weasel with the Dirt Nap, and that means that Carlos Barrera gets to pick the stipulation for his match against Masked Cougar, and he says that at the pay-per-view, he is going to finally be able to grab the brass ring. That's what he's been trying to do. Grab this metaphorical brass ring. So why not make it more than just a metaphor? Make it a full-on fucking reality. Because him and Masked Cougar are going to have a ladder match for the World Championship. It will be hoisted above the ring. Whoever climbs the ladder, retrieves the belt, wins the title, and every member of the Coastal Kings is banned from ringside. So while there might not be any DQs, there will be repercussions if they show up. So all of the Coastal Kings are banned from ringside. Ladder match for the world title is now set. 68 rated segment to end the show. Overall show got a 77. Why was Malik Cash slightly overused? He was in one match and 2 promos. Okay, whatever. 77 overall show. The main event really fucking bailed us out there. Thank you, Creative Finish. But yeah, that's the first of 3 Coast to Coast, so let's get into Coast to Coast number 2. Okay, it is time for the second taping of Coast to Coast, and once again, I am, forgot to turn on the lo-fi, there you guys go. I'm once again bringing out the local workers we hired. They are not employed by us full-time. Why the fuck not? Am I just not gonna overwork them? You know? So, making sure I do not team up Blue Dragon and the former Devin Retribution. I can't remember his name. We'll see him in a second. But American Patriot and Blue Dragon lose to the Apex Twins. And in a 38 rated match, Joanna Silver, who was losing some momentum, she had cooled momentum, so I gave her the other victory because all of our other young lions are actually booked later on tonight. So Artful Dodger, which is Devin Retribution's new name, taking the job to Joanna Silver here. 38 rated segment. Good to see. So we open the show. We are doing the entrances. We've brought out the Beach Boys and Rich and Famous, and even though we know that Simon Waves is hurt, the crowd does not know that yet. So Chet Chavez and Simon Waves, they come out. They're coming out for their match, for their tag title match. Here come Jackpot Jordan, Jake Idol, Fox Mask. But before they can make it into the ring, Fox Mask looks right at Willow, who's holding a chair, and just nods. And then after he nods, Willow takes the chair, fucking lip first right into Simon Waves' leg. We do the non-injured one, but we are running a broken leg angle. So, but we work the non-injured one just to be sure that we don't re-aggravate it. And Willow takes down Simon Waves. Chet Chavez is stunned. He's like, what the fuck? Jackpot Jordan and Jake Idol hit the ring. They start beating down Chet Chavez and then start beating down Simon Waves. Willow has turned her back on Chet Chavez and Simon Waves after Fox Mask says that there might just be a spot in the Coastal Kings for her. Willow just showing her true colors, hitching her wagon wherever it seems the most profitable. And, Jackpot and Jake then get tables, put Chet Chavez and Simon Waves through them, and the tag title match can never get underway. And the Coastal Kings have successfully prevented themselves from defending the title. This was supposed to happen anyway. I was going to have Willow turn heel. She was just going to do it to make sure that the Beach Boys won the match. But shit happens. This still works. And the only long-term plan, I was planning on having the Beach Boys start a feud with a different team. But, obviously we can't do that now. So just a couple tweaks, which is a bit of a shame. I would have really liked to have done the planned storyline I had, but we can do that eventually at some point. But instead of having that match, I have booked this very fun match. Thunderstruck and the Expelled is probably going to do really well. Bunraku Kantori was fucking incredible. Oh my god. 59 rated match. The Expelled are absolutely crazy good, so yeah, Bunraku Kantori pins Amy St. James with the Exodus 2020. That is their tag finish. I thought it was funny. So this is the match that the fans got instead of the tag title match that was supposed to happen. It is what it is. We then cut backstage where Masked Cougar and Frankie Perez, they corner Zell Quinn, and Zell's like, what the fuck did I do? What do you guys want? And Cougar looks at Frankie and he says, you are trying to fuck with California Love Machine and American Flash. And Zell's like, yeah, so what? And Frankie's like, we can use you. We've talked with our inside man. He says that you've got connections that nobody knows about. You've got connections with people outside of this company. Use them. Our inside man has booked another 6-man tag later tonight to wear down Carlos Barrera and Frankie-Boy Fernandes. And you are going to be our tag team partner. Get the Q Crew, get Swipe, get whoever the fuck you can. Help us or else. And Zell's like, okay, yeah, sure. All right, I got you. 46 rated segment. The Inside Man's booking the main event tonight, and that's not all. The Inside Man is booking the semi-main, as Fox Mask tells Air Attack Weasel and Fox Mask 2 that last week, Tigre Salvaje Jr. and Waylon Walls completely fucked up a bunch of plans that he and the Inside Man had going into Hardcore Halloween. They were going to do a different type of match in the main event, but now that is set in stone, there's nothing the Inside Man can do to get out of it. It's thrown out the window, but tonight, he has booked a tag team match between the Air Weasel and Fox and Waylon and Tigre, and Fox says, take care of them. 50 rated segment. So that's 2 matches that the Inside Man is booked for tonight. Our next match sees everybody's favorite tag team, the Los Face... Holy shit, Air Raid 744. The Los Face Breakers getting the victory in 6 minutes and 44 seconds. And the story is the same as every other Los Face Breakers match, where Heartbroken uses his incel angst to do all the work, and then Air Raid Siren tags in, hits the top low leg drop, and gets the victory, pinning Snapdragon Jr. in a 43 rated match. And we get a promo from Heartbroken and Air Raid, where Air Raid says, "The California Dreams has stolen the Extreme Championship from us and from the people that are fighting injustice in this world. But they have not broken our spirit." And Heartbroken, he says, "Eventually, we're gonna mold this company into the justice-deserving champions of the future." Whatever the fuck that means. That was complete gibberish out of my mouth. But Air Raid Siren says, "Yes, Heartbroken, we will get gold in this company, no matter what anyone tries to do to stop us." It's 57 rated angle. We cut backstage where Sean McFly has called Rich and Famous into their office, and he says, "Look, I gotta hand it to you guys. You and fucking Fox Mask, no matter what I throw at you, you guys always seem to find a way to get out of it. And to an extent, I commend you. Congratulations. However, I'm still the boss. I don't care how much power the Inside Man has. He cannot change anything that I have already set in stone. And I have already written something in stone. And that is a #1 contenders match next week as punishment for your little stunt, taking the Beach Boys out of action, turning Willow against her tag team's back. You put them through tables. You seem to enjoy that. So at the pay-per-view, not only are you going to be defending your tag team titles, you're going to be defending them in a tables match. The first member of either team to go through a table will lose the match, and the winners will get the tag team titles. And next week, there will be a 2v2v2v2 to determine your challengers. And who is going to be in this 2v2v2v2? Well, I'm glad you asked. It is going to be Ice, the Inner City Express. It is going to be, I have it right off, the California Dreams, the Los Face Breakers, and the El Jaguar and Luis Montero Jr. So there is our #1 contenders match for next week, 2v2v2v2. I've clicked off on my spreadsheet. Oh no, where are you? There you are. Alright, so that's happening. A 60 rated segment for that pre-booking. And up next, we get the debut of Lenny Brown here in Coastal Zone as he teams with the Inner City Express to take on Cillian Catsby and Aviation. And yes, Lenny Brown is already a star, and he got a 70 in his debut. Oh, he's going to be a fucking legend. Oh, please do not be a Seth Whitehead. But the match only goes 8 minutes and 25 seconds. Lenny Brown hits Cillian Catsby with the star treatment. And let's talk about the elephant in the room. What the hell is the Bad Boy Wreckers? And what is this stable? Well, Lenny Brown says he is interviewed by the Guru once again. And Guru says, what did you mean when you said you're going to take over this company? And Lenny Brown says, that's what we're going to do. We're going to take over the company. We are finally graced with the chance to work together for the first time in the history of any of our careers, and we are not going to let that go to waste. Next week, the Inner City Express are in that 4-way tag team match to get a #1 contendership. They were screwed out of those tag team titles by Rich and Famous, and now that they got me behind their back, they're not getting screwed ever again, because I'm the bad boy and we wreak havoc. We are Bad Boy Wreckers. We are the team that your team will look up to. We are the team that your favorite team will fear. We are the men that everybody will shudder in terror when they hear our music. And next week, the Inner City Express are one step closer to the tag team titles. 55 rated segment, and yes, it is the newest stable on the block here, Bad Boy Wreckers. I am very, very happy with how this logo came out. I fucking love it. I did a great goddamn job patting myself on the back. I'm very proud of this one. But yes, obviously this is a play on the old Biggie Smalls record label, Bad Boy Wreckers. Bad Boy Records is the real record label. I don't know if they're still around. They probably are. But, yeah, I thought it was really funny. and a really clever name for this group, because Lenny Brown looks like he could be in a fucking rap group. Like, let's be honest. Look at those fucking aviators. But yeah, Bad Boy Wreckers are the newest stable on the block, and the Q Crew are starting what Masked Cougar and Frankie Perez demanded Zelquin, as Eureka LaBelle and Onslaught go to take down California Love Machine, but they do not get, while they get the jump, they do not get the job done because the Expelled take them out. And the Expelled, who probably should be the tag team champions by now, and the only reason they aren't is because of Eureka LaBelle and Onslaught. The Expelled have not forgotten what they've done, and they continue to back up California Love Machine against the Q Crew, and it is announced that next week the Expelled will finally get their hands on the Q Crew, 2-on-2, no more hiding, wasted potential. The Expelled is happening next week. The Expelled finally getting their match against Wasted Potential. And, yeah, 54 raid segment. Eureka and Onslaught try to jump California, and it does not go well. We cut to the parking lot, where Fox Mask and Willow, they're kind of on, like, a scaffold of sorts, and Fox Mask is like, look, first off, thanks for meeting me in this, very secluded location where no one can hear us talk. Look, thank you. Thank you for seeing the light, and thank you for taking me up on my offer. And Willow says, don't worry, the pleasure is all mine. I am very excited to start working for you and the Coastal Kings. I've always felt that this company didn't respect its legends, and Fox is like, I know, right? Unfortunately, I said there might be a spot for you, and there really isn't. So, I say we cut our ties here. Thank you for your work. It was really appreciated, but, your job is done here. You're no longer needed. And Willow's like, what? I just turned my back on the only people that I've trusted for the past 6 years, and you're just gonna cut me loose? And Fox is like, look, don't get agitated. This is just business. I said there might be a spot for you, and there wasn't. This shit happens. And Willow says, no, this shit doesn't happen. You don't fuck with me and get away with it. And Fox Mask looks... he looks at the end of the scaffolding, and he sees a giant dump truck, and he says, I told you, don't get mad at me. And he pushes Willow off the balcony right into this dump truck, and it drives away. And that is the last that we will ever see of Willow. She has decided to leave the company, so I have thrown her in the trash, and she leaves. And, so yes, Fox Mask was doing all this, writing Willow off of TV, meaning that he was not at ringside accompanying Air Attack Weasel or Fox Mask 2 for their match. And in the end, after a 51 rated match, there is, he tries to make the save. Fox Mask, he runs out, he attempts to save the day because Air Attack Weasel and Fox Mask 2 are getting their ass kicked, but since he wasn't able to devote all of his time to this match, the interference is botched, and he screws over Air Attack Weasel, allowing Waylon Walls to pin him. 1, 2, 3, jumping double arm DDT, 51 rated match. The baby faces get the victory, and the celebration, they're celebrating, and Fox is like, holy fuck, what just happened? But pandemonium continues to break out, as out of nowhere, Seth Whitehead jumps both T-Gray and Waylon Walls, and he looks right at T-Gray, and he grabs him by the mask, and he says, nobody takes my spot and gets away with it. You are trying to capitalize on a situation that is fucked for me, and you are not getting away with it, T-Gray. Nobody takes my spot. You want my spot in line? Fight me for it. Me, you, at the pay-per-view. When you lose, go back to the fucking undercard where you belong. And he spikes his head down. The Coastal Kings retreat. Waylon Walls is laid out as well. And we have a pay-per-view match set for Hardcore Halloween. Seth Whitehead, Tigre Salvaje Jr. Yeah, it's Hardcore Halloween, meaning it's gonna be a hardcore match. So let's book a hardcore match. Right here. T-Gray, Seth Whitehead. T-Gray is so close to making it to the next stage of Coastal Zone, so this is going to be like a real good test for him. But yeah, 50 rated segment. We get another promo from El Jaguar and Luis Montero Jr., who have said once again, we have failed, the lights were bright, and we came up short, but we are graced with another opportunity. We are given opportunities that we might not deserve, but we're going to capitalize this time. Next week, we're winning that 4-way, and we are winning the tag titles at the pay-per-view. Just, continuing the story of can Jaguar and Luis finally get it done when the lights are the brightest. 54 rated segment. And right before the main event, Sean McFly calls Fox Mask and AirTech Weasel into his office, and he says, look, there's been a precedent set here on Coastal Zone. And despite all the chaos afterwards, you two are not running away from this. Alright? In that tag match, Waylon Walls pinned the Extreme Champion. He's pinned the champion. That happened. He's gonna get an Extreme title match. And Fox Mask is like, this is bullshit. You can't do this. The Inside Man's got something else planned for the pay-per-view. And Sean says, I don't see what the Inside Man has planned, so I'm planning this. I don't care what your Inside Man does. Air Attack Weasel is defending that title against Waylon Walls at the pay-per-view. And Fox Mask and Weasel, they storm out of the office, and it is time for our main event. Masked Cougar, Frankie Perez, and Zell Quinn versus Carlos, Frankie-Boy, and American Flash. And in the end, Zell Quinn did in fact call some backup. He called backup in the form of Otis Von, what's his last name? Otis Von Battenberg. So this one's gonna need a little bit of explanation before I talk about the actual match. So, in the universe that we are playing in this timeline, American Flash has a deal with both us and IPW, and he has had a pretty good feud with Otis Von Battenberg in IPW. So we need to, jump into the world of role-playing where, in this universe, American Flash has been feuding with Otis Von Battenberg in IPW, and I thought, look, I don't actually have anything for American Flash at the pay-per-view. Why don't we do something fun and have Zell Quinn call in Otis Von Battenberg and continue this IPW feud in Coastal Zone since we are both in COTT, this is shit that we can do. I thought it'd be really fun. So, in the end, Swipe Romero takes out Carlos Barrera, Otis Von Battenberg takes out American Flash, and the Coastal Kings are able to get the victory. 81 rated main event, despite the fact that the fans were mad. Zell Quinn got a 54. He was the weak link. Shit happens. Everybody did great. I'm really happy with Zell for pulling out a 54 despite everything. And, yeah, we end the show with Zell Quinn just taunting American Flash and saying that, look, I might have more connections than I ever lead on. Otis Von Battenberg, you two have had quite the history in IPW, and last time you two faced, you lost, Otis. And Zell Quinn says this, and Otis gets even more riled up, and he continues to beat down Flash, and he says, but Otis isn't going away, American Flash, because even though IPW is right across the street, we're having a hardcore show, so why not bring Otis Von Battenberg into Coastal Zone and have him get his revenge at Hardcore Halloween? So yes, American Flash, Hardcore Halloween versus Otis Von Battenberg. Is it a extreme match? I think it is. No, it's a 3v3. He's called in the help of Otis Von Battenberg and Swipe Romero. So the full Zell Quinn, Swipe Romero, Otis, my bad. I thought it was a singles match. American Flash, California Love Machine, and, Tony the Wonderful. So essentially Zell's like, look, Otis wants revenge on American Flash. I want revenge on California Love Machine. Swipe Romero wants revenge on Tony the Wonderful. Swipe has been helping me out. Why don't I help him out? We're doing a 3v3 at Hardcore Halloween. 59 rated segment to end the show. Sorry I botched it. I pre-booked that match not that long ago. Fairly long ago, so that's on me. I'm sorry. 73 overall show. Zell Quinn was used too much. If that's a penalty, then is it really, if you really think about it? Because Zell Quinn's fucking awesome. We love Zell Quinn here. And let's get into the final edition of Coast to Coast in this episode. Alright, it's time for the final edition of Coast to Coast in this extra long episode. And just like the next 2 episodes of Coast to Coast you're gonna see, it's taping number 3. And this is a prime example of why this series is pre-recorded. from now on, at least for the foreseeable future, because I literally got ready to record this coast to coast and then got pulled away for a whopping 7.5 hours. So I booked the whole show, got ready to run it, and then here we go. I think I'm actually gonna start coast to coast on this screen now too. I think it works better because then you can see what has been pre-booked, and sometimes we're gonna have situations like this where I didn't pre-book something on the show, but it is announced ahead of time that Fox Mask 2 will take on Amy St. James, and Otis Von Battenberg will team up with Zell Quinn. Otis is going to debut here in Coastal Zone to take on his IPW rival American Flash, and his and his protege Tony the Wonderful. If I pre-book it, it means it was deemed important enough for me to note ahead of time. So even though this looks like an absolute nothing burger of a match, trust me. But we kick off the show with the #1 contenders tag team match, and it looks like the Inner City Express are going to take the victory. It looks like with Lenny Brown at ringside, the Inner City Express are going to use the numbers advantage, Coastal King style, to get the victory and come out with a tag title match. But during the match, the promiscuous pillagers take out Lenny Brown. A brawl breaks out, and the Inner City Express are forced to abandon the match at hand and chase the promiscuous pillagers into the back, allowing the California Dreams and El Jaguar and Luis Montero Jr. to continue dishing it out. Kira Lee hits her finisher right on El Jaguar, but right before she can pin him, Air Raid Siren hits a move from the top rope. Heartbreaker scoops up Luis Montero Jr. Fuck! God damn it, the pre-show matches! Son of a bitch! I forgot about the fucking pre-show matches. You know what? God damn it! I told you I booked this a while ago. Here's the pre-show matches. There's the Aviation one. This is the second fucking team that had bad chemistry. I don't care. It's the pre-show. Here's this. Gabe Apex is Gimmicks King Steel. And then Heartbreaker scoops up Luis Montero Jr. and hits him with the Injustice Driver and gets the victory. And with that, Los Face Breakers in a 61 rated. I'm sorry. It's fucking. That's really funny. That's one of those moments where it's such like the worst thing that could happen in terms of like recording a video that it's just kind of fucking funny. Los Face Breakers win the match. Yeah, so they're going to the pay-per-view to take on the not the California, Rich and Famous for the tag team titles. Los Face Breakers, Rich and Famous, of course, main eventing tonight's show. Alright, cool. There we go. So yeah, 61 overall show. Good performances from El Jaguar here, Kira Lee as well. But yes, Los Face Breakers get the victory, and they are confronted by Rich and Famous, who come out and they say, Heartbreaker, look, we understand that you want our tag team titles. However, we've got something. We're rich. We're famous. You know what happens when you're rich and famous, Heartbreaker? You get any woman you want. And, if you just happen to be rich and famous as well, we could get you any girlfriend that you want. And Heartbreaker, he blankly stares, he doesn't respond, but before anything can happen, Air Raid Siren kicks Jackpot Jordan right in the fucking dick, and Jake Idol is then jumped by Heartbroken. Whether Heartbroken would have accepted that offer or not does not matter, because Air Raid Siren rejected on his behalf, and we are going to have Battle of the Scumbags at the pay-per-view for the tag team titles. In the following segment, the brawl between Bad Boy Wreckers and Hugh Dayask and Joanna Silver continues, and it continues until it is in fact needed to be broken up by the Guru and Cliff Anderson and Dylan Seidel. And as it's being broken up, Lenny Brown, he's yelling at Hugh Dayask. Hugh Dayask is yelling back, and Lenny Brown says, you know what, Hugh? You think you're tough shit? You think you're tough shit? My first singles match in Coastal Zone. You want to fight me so bad? It's gonna be me versus you. Hardcore Halloween. You think I'm not worthy? I don't know what your fucking problem is with the Inner City Express, but now you got a problem with me? Pay-per-view, you're donezo, donezo, bucko. If you feel bad, we're donezo. 47 rated segment, and yeah, that's another pay-per-view match that we have set for the pay-per-view, because if we don't have a pay-per-view match at the pay-per-view, what is the point of the pay-per-view match? Hudask versus Lenny Brown. Lenny Brown's singles debut here in Coastal Zone will be against Hudask. I feel like that will be a very good match. We have one final face-to-face between Carlos Barrera and Masked Cougar. And Masked Cougar is, of course, flanked by Fox Mask. And Cougar starts off just like, Carlos, I don't know why you think you're so special. We really don't get it. You took offense to us putting you in your place way harder than anyone else. But what do you think's gonna happen? We're always gonna find a way to win. That's what we've done for the past 5 months. We've done nothing but find different and better ways to win and stay on top. And Carlos Barrera, who the fuck do you think you are to stop our train from moving? And Carlos, he looks right at Masked Cougar and he says, nobody is allowed at ringside. The Coastal Kings are banned from ringside. And you know what happens if the Coastal Kings show up at ringside? They're fired. Whoever shows up, terminated on the spot. None of you are safe from Cliff Anderson. None of you are safe from termination. What the fuck do you think is gonna happen? Because you talk this huge game of, oh, we're better, we'll always find a way to win. It seems like the only way you can ever win is with Fox Mask at your side. Masked Cougar, maybe the reason history needs to be preserved so desperately is because history is decaying. It is dying just like everything is, because you, Masked Cougar, you are fucking useless without that Fox Mask. You are useless. You should be Masked Fox because you are useless without that man. And at the pay-per-view, when there's going to be nobody to help you, I'm going to climb that ladder, grab the brass ring, shove it right up your ass, and then walk away with that Coastal Zone Championship. 47 rated angle, the final face-to-face before the ladder match between these two at the pay-per-view. Up next, 43 rated segment. Holy fuck. I'm getting the worst luck with this shit, man. The absolute dirt worst luck with these chemistries. But anyway, in hyping up the trios match that we have scheduled at the pay-per-view, the Q Crew, yes, Otis von Battenberg is a member of the Q Crew in the same way that, like, who's a good name? Like, Peter is a member of the Bullet Club. I don't know if that's the best analogy, but, like, he's more of a support kind of character. Like, if you look up on Wikipedia, they got, like, you know, what is the word I'm trying, you know what I mean. Like, he's not a full-time member. He's an accomplice. It's not the word I'm thinking of, but damn, it's gonna bother me now. But yes, Otis von Battenberg actually wins his debut match once again, thanks to the Q Crew running in. Onslaught ran in to attack American Flash. Eureka LaBelle also attacked American Flash. Tony DeWonderful was ambushed by Swipe Romero. Just constant interference by the Q Crew and associates. That's the fucking word. Otis is an associate. But yeah, outside interference from Swipe and the Q Crew, allowing the heels to get the victory and the momentum going into the trios match at the pay-per-view. Fox Mask and Frankie Perez confront Going Coastal in the main event, and they say, look, main event of Hardcore Halloween, the COTT title match is a hardcore match. And since it's a hardcore match, Sean McFly can't threaten a disqualification, because there are no disqualifications. So Frankie Boy, your reign of terror with Frankie Perez's title is short, because even if you don't have that, even if you don't have any of us at ringside, you have been worn down to no end. Our inside man has put you in main event after main event after main event. And again, tonight you're facing Rich and Famous, the tag team champions. Good luck beating them with all of us at ringside. And good luck retaining your COTT championship. Because Sean McFly, there's not a damn thing he can do to stop us from interfering in that match. 59 rated segment. A 49 rated segment as the California Dreams cut a promo saying they were so close to getting those tag team title shot. It was stolen by two of the most disgusting human beings, that they're completely on a roll, but Just like they were so close, they should be the ones in this match. And El Jaguar and Luis Montero Jr. say, you don't know the half of it. You don't know what it's like knowing your worth and not being able to execute when the lights are the brightest. You two would never understand. I'm a former tag team champion. Luis Montero Jr. is one of the most decorated luchadors in the history of Mexican professional wrestling. You two do not understand what it's like. And Kira Lee and Sky Hermosa says, I don't think you two understand what real success tastes like, because neither of us have tasted that yet, as it seems. And I think the only way that either of us are going to be able to taste some success is if we dish it out at the pay-per-view. And El Jaguar and Luis say, you know what? Any chance to prove ourselves is another chance that we're going to take. So that is another mid-card match for the pay-per-view. I think this will be a really fun tag match. Jaguar and Luis versus the California Dreams. Give it a little bit of time. It will be a great showcase. 49 rated angle. We have a singles match between Fox Mask and Amy St. James. Only goes 4 minutes and 43 seconds. Fox Mask 2 defeats her in with the Fox Hunter. But they have great chemistry too. So when Fox Mask gets more over, hey, but yeah, this was a decent little match, and you might be wondering why this match is happening, and you're about to find that out. So after the match, Air Attack Weasel and Fox Mask 2 are celebrating. Waylon Walls comes out to confront Air Attack Weasel, and he starts cutting this promo. He says, not only am I going to take this title because I should have taken it at the last pay-per-view, I'm going to take this title and put you out of your fucking misery, just like you guys did to Bullseye. His knee is still fucked beyond belief. He hasn't been back in months. I'm gonna put an end to you and put you right next to him in the hospital bed. But his promo is interrupted by Fox Mask once again, and he says, look, I don't know if you saw last week, Waylon Walls, but when I was talking to Sean McFly, I tried to explain to him that my inside man, the Coastal King's inside man, we'd booked the number one contenders match. I told him, hey, the inside man's already got something planned for the Extreme title, and he already had booked a number one contenders match, and that number one contenders match, of course, was none other than the match you just saw. Fox Mask versus Amy St. James, and it seems that both general managers had double booked a number one contenders match, just like last month. Can you believe that? It happens, but the only issue now is that, tonight is the last show before Hardcore Halloween, so we don't really, there's no time to settle the dispute, so, the biggest compromise that we can do is just add Fox Mask to the Extreme title match. So, Waylon Walls, sorry, not sorry, but you're facing not just Air Attack Weasel, but Fox Mask in a triple threat match for the Extreme Championship. Why did I hit return to booking screen? How did that happen? How did I do such a thing? But yes, a triple threat match. We'll go hardcore, fuck it. Fox Mask 2, Waylon Walls, and Air Attack Weasel. The inside man once again, at least attempting. Waylon can still win this match, but the odds are definitely stacked against the non-Coastal King's favor. Once again, thanks to the inside man here. We have a promo backstage where Otis Von Battenberg and Zell Quinn are in their locker room getting changed out of their wrestling gear when California Love Machine, Frankie Perez, American Flash, and Tony DeWonderful close the locker room door and break the handle, and they are trapped in there. Going Coastal and Rich and Famous, I forgot to explain this one before the show. Again, I booked this a while ago. Going Coastal was put in the main event once again by the Inside Man in an attempt to wear him down ahead of the pay-per-view. So, they're facing Rich and Famous. I explained it earlier in the show, but I wanted to explain it again before the show. Shit happens. But yes, in an attempt to mitigate some of the inevitable shenanigans that are going to happen in the main event, the babyfaces have locked Otis Von Battenberg and Zell Quinn in their locker room so that they cannot come out and interfere. Up next, we have the Expelled taking on Wasted Potential, and the main event is not the only match that the Q Crew are not able to interfere in, as Wasted Potential, what a match, 62 rated match. The Expelled are able to make easy work of Wasted Potential without Otis or Zell Quinn, able to make the save. After 10 minutes and 7 seconds, Bunraku Tori hits Eureka LaBelle with the Exodus 2020, gets the victory. Another 67 rated performance, this time by Bunraku Tori. And once again, Wasted Potential are taken out. Zell Quinn is nowhere to be seen. Otis von Battenberg is nowhere to be seen. Atsumori grabs one of Eureka's arms. Bunraku Tori grabs one of Onslaught's arms. And they do the fucking Pentagon Lucha Underground spot where they just yank it, hyperextend the shit out of it, and they are rolling around in pain. And it looks as if Wasted Potential are taken out for tonight and potentially even the pay-per-view. And we have one more angle before the main event. Sean McFly has called Seth Whitehead and Tigre Salvaje Jr. into his office, and he says, look, until I can figure out who this inside man is, or why he has just as much or most of the same powers as me, I got to figure out a way around him. So instead of trying to just ignore him, or trying to figure out who he is, for the time being, I'm trying to think faster than him. And clearly, as actions earlier in the show have indicated, I gotta get ahead of shit. Long story short, the only way for me to guarantee any title matches anymore is to book them way ahead of time. So Seth Whitehead, you, as much of an asshole as you have been a key, valuable member of this roster. And you do deserve title matches. You do deserve the chance to earn them. You lost to Carlos, but we all know your worth. Tigre, you had one hell of a run with the Extreme Championship. You might be ready to move up, and you want revenge on the Coastal Kings. So, at the pay-per-view, your two match at the pay-per-view will not just be a grudge match, it will be a number one contenders match for Showdown at Sundown. Whoever wins that match will face either Carlos Barrera or Masked Cougar at Showdown at Sundown. And both men are like, fuck yeah, they agree. And it's time for the main event, Going Coastal versus Rich and Famous. Like I said, a billion shenanigans happen at ringside, but without the Q crew able to help Rich and Famous, and it's just the Coastal Kings, meaning that American Flash is able to come out, Tony DeWonderful comes out, the Expelled come out. Overall, there's a lot of bullshit going on in the ring at ringside, and it allows, in a 75 rated main event, it allows Going Coastal to get the victory on our tag team champions. California Love Machine, in the middle of pandemonium, hits Jake Idol with a coastliner after 20 minutes and 24 seconds and get the victory. Going Coastal get the victory going into the pay-per-view. What a great match. What went wrong? I just feel like this should have been a little better, but... Oh, the Spinal Impact. That's right. I've turned off Spinal Impact moves after Simon Waves broke his leg. I'm like, it is not worth it on Coast to Coast. So I'm going to run the 5-star gimmick where TV shows, I've turned on Spinal Impact moves being banned, and for pay-per-views I turn it off just because I'm like, injuries are starting to climb up. So yeah, 75 rated match. And 58 rated angle to end the show, where the Coastal Kings... I forgot to put Sean McFly on here. He's like the crux of this angle. Oh, well. Coastal Kings are facing off with the baby faces, and Sean McFly comes out, and he says, Fox Mask, I heard what you said earlier. Yeah, you're correct. Nobody can be DQ'd in that COTT title match. It's a no DQ match. However, approved by the COTT board, if anyone, and I mean anyone, any living human being, anyone that works for the Coastal Kings or is just a regular employee of Coastal Zone, if anybody shows up at all, they will not only be terminated from their Coastal Zone contract, and if you can find somebody that doesn't even work for Coastal Zone, I'm talking about Otis von Battenberg, if anyone shows up during that match, from the opening bell to the final bell, they will also be detained and arrested. 58 rated segment. Fox Mask throws his hands on his head. He's like, oh shit, I wasn't expecting that. Maybe I should have talked about my fucking game plan ahead of time. But yeah, if anyone shows up in the main event at the pay-per-view, they won't only be terminated, but they might also be charged with a felony. 67 overall show. I don't know why all these people were slightly overused. I did not get the message ahead of time. It is what it is. Here's Simon Wave's injury. He's going to be out for a decent bit, which is a big shame because the Beach Boys have been a really backbone of not only my tag division, but my roster as a whole. So having Simon Waves go out kind of sucks. Jet Chavez solo run for a little bit, I guess. We lost $5,000, but that's because we've used a bit extra workers and it was a 3-show taping. So we're going to make all of that money back and then some. 57 in the Southwest as well. And that does it for these coast-to-coast tapings. Again, sorry for the longer video, but shit happens. The next video you see will be Hardcore Halloween 2022. As soon as this is done loading, I'm going to run down the card real quick so we can look at it. Otis von Battenberg has 1 appearance left. That's good. Alright, so opening the Hardcore Halloween show is the triple threat match. Fox Mask 2 versus Waylon Walls versus Air Attack Weasel for the Extreme Championship. Then it is the 3v3 match. American Flash, California Love Machine, and Tony DeWonderful versus Zell, Quinn, Swipe Romero, and Otis von Battenberg. The following contest is the fun mid-card grudge match between El Jaguar and Luis Montero Jr. and the California Dreams. We then have Lenny Brown's singles debut as he takes on Hugh Dayask in a tables match, which I do think I forgot to make a tables match. Where are you? Right there. I don't think I made this a tables match. So, let's make it a tables match. I don't have the belt set? What the fuck? Alright. Oh my god, Jesus Christ. Why not? It's too extreme. The injury risk is average. You know what? It's in the middle of the show. I'm gonna risk it. It's in the middle of the show. We're gonna see how bad this penalty can get. Fuck it. Fuck it. Tables match. I already pre-booked it. I'm not cowering out. We then have #1 contenders match. Winner gets a world title shot at Showdown at Sundown. Tigre Salvaje Jr. versus Seth Whitehead. The Coastal Zone Championship ladder match. Every member of the Coastal Kings is banned from ringside. Carlos Barrera versus Masked Cougar. And then main event, COTT Championship hardcore match. Anybody that fucking shows up gets arrested. Frankie Perez, Frankie-Boy Fernandes, main eventing Hardcore Halloween. I hope you all enjoyed that edition of, are you any good at commentary? I hope you all enjoyed this edition of Coastal Zone Championship Wrestling, and I hope you all come back for, episode number, whatever the fuck it is, 30 of, Coastal Zone.